Hi everyone, Gerard here with FXLiveDayTrading.com. Today was a decent day at $1,234. Isn't that really interesting? I mean, I just looked at it now and said, whoa, 1, 2, 3, 4. Not a typo. 1,234. Really weird number. Okay, whatever, I'll take it. Now I'm just going to go over, now that was just strictly US. I did also have a Forex trade overnight. That was like 10 pips on the New Zealand versus the US dollar. And I will go over that trade first. And then I will go ahead and talk about today's trade, which is the emini S&P 500 futures. So, going to talk about the move lower yesterday. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I'm going to talk about first the New Zealand versus the US dollar trade. It was an overnight Asian trade, and the reason that I took it is there was a pretty big move yesterday to the upside on the XBS 500, and that's the index that compiles some of the major stocks that trade in the stock market. So we saw the move up. However, I didn't see much of a correlation going on with the New Zealand, so I thought possibly overnight we will see that push higher. Sometimes you'll see that. You'll see the S&P 500 move higher, and then you'll see kind of like some of these currencies, such as the New Zealand versus, sorry about that, just kicked the camera, versus the New Zealand and the Aussie will kind of move up overnight and piggyback on the equities, which really means that it continues overnight in Asia. Now, that didn't happen. This was the day after New Zealand GDP came out, which came out okay. But needless to say, yesterday we did have a pop higher, and I'm going to go ahead and show you that right now, just to kind of get more in depth from the screenshot over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so I hope that kind of showed you a little bit about how sometimes the correlation will piggyback, sometimes it won't. In that instance, what happened was we didn't see the correlation move because what happened in Asia was actually a move lower in their stock market. So we didn't really see the move and the carryover, which created a red flag, and I really had conviction. And if you have not watched the S&P videos that I did a couple days ago, watch that now, and you'll see how I was talking about the up-and-coming possible move lower in crude oil and the S&P. So go watch that, because we had that, and we had that today. So needless to say, we were prepared in the trading room for this move. Now, I'll tell you why I wasn't so excited, and I'm referring now to the Spring Challenge account. Now, it's a small account, so I have to be very vigilant and very careful when I place my trades. There was 4 trades placed, and there was 1 trade that I feel I didn't do such a great job on. But I'm going to go ahead now and showcase that SPX trade on the screen. Okay, everybody, so we're going to look at the today's ES. You can see, where am I, right here. I'm trying to figure out, okay, it's up there, I guess. Yeah, great. All right, so this is kind of funny. $1,234 realized in profit, and I have to tell you, I don't even think that I traded good. There was a few trades there. I'm still trying to figure out how to list every single trade, and I'll do that. Typically, I don't even follow that. I just look at, at a run at the end of the day if I'm curious. But on this page, okay, great. So, I don't take a ton of trades, so off the top of my head, there was 1, 2, 3, 4 trades. Out of the 4, 1 was a losing trade, and that was the one where I went long. And the level that I went in was, it wasn't the best level. And then my exit, again, because of the emotional concerns with the size of the account, I got out a little too early, and then we had that pretty move higher. That was, I believe, about 345, 330. So needless to say, whatever, I'm happy. End of the week total, $900 out of 5. Okay, I believe it could have been a lot more. Needless to say, let's not focus on the numbers. Let's focus on the strategy here. Okay, we're here to learn. Now, let me just go to the account. Let's just type in the ES, and this is going to be the June 21. It's going to put this up on the 15, and then I'm just going to show you what I did here today. Okay, so how the heck do I get my little face here out of here? Does this mean I'm going to have to put this thing on? Oh, there we go. Yeah, can move it and groove it. So that means if I turn this way, then I'm going to be kind of looking at that. I don't know, whatever. It's a little distracting. Next time, maybe I'll get my face out of there. I don't even think you need to see my face. It's kind of stupid. All right, so let's take a look here. So we went ahead, dropped. Great. I didn't get that move because this I'm keeping strictly for just day trading. That means that we're going to start at 9 a.m. This would have been a very, very nice signal. Oh well, so what I had to do is I waited till the opening, got that first move little pop-up, shorted that. Okay, then what I did, I exited on my support level, which I had coming in at about, it depends what chart I look at because these contracts vary a few points. I believe we were coming in right about 28.25 because that is the weekly, and I'm not, it's the end of the week here. I just don't want to spend a lot of time on the analysis. I do that in the trading room. I get very thorough. Bottom line is I had a support level, okay, and I believe it's coming in about 28.25 area. Okay, so I got out around that area. We kept moving down. I took a long right around here because that was also a support level. We kept moving down a little bit further. I was I wanted to give it about 4 points, as far as a stop loss. It was pretty volatile today. Took out stops and then boom, moved up. Unfortunately, on that, oh my goodness, I'm getting ahead of myself. Sorry about this. First one I shorted, great. The second one was a move higher, and then it was another short. It was on one of these spikes. Okay, great. Third move was the move where I went long. Okay, so that was trade number 3. Trade number 3 was a long. The long, I didn't feel that I got such a good, entry there. Moved higher eventually, but I took a loss on that. I got out. That was my first loss. Excellent. Moved up here, and then I shorted and grabbed a little bit of this. However, then the trend line broke. It could have been another trade, but I restricted myself to a certain amount of trades. I try not to do a certain amount of trades. Today, really, my figure was 3. I went over that. I did 4. I said, you know what? That's it. Sorry about that. And that was that. So, any rate, the bottom line is, overall, still happy with the trading. The direction is the main thing. The direction was correct. It was proper. If you have more thoughts on the ES, feel free to post that in the comments of how you did today. Excellent. Make sure that you go back and you watch the video that I posted a couple days ago on my strategies and what I was going to look for in the ES and the crude oil, is because it worked out in a big way. Now, the only reason why I'm not too happy today on a Friday is because I feel that I could have did a lot better. based upon the fact that I had my direction down. So, hey, you always want to be improving, and as a trader, you never want to feel like you've done such an exceptional job, because for me, I know it plays on my ego and it doesn't make me a better trader. You have to keep humble, and even if you made 10,000 in a day, or 1,000 if that's a lot to you, or even 100 if that's a lot to you, don't say, yeah man, I'm the best, because I'm telling you, it's going to come back and the market's going to get you. So stay humble, stay real. Okay, everybody, so above is the New Zealand dollar trade, and this was taken in Asian session, and the reason that I took this trade is I thought the correlation was going to carry over. Hey, you know what? It was worth the trade. Hey, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I managed to grab 10 pips. That's not what I was looking for. I'm not the type of trader that just looks for 10 pips, in a particular trade. When I trade, I like to look for at least anywhere between 25 to 50 pips. Needless to say, it was worth a try. We had the stock market move higher yesterday, but yet the New Zealand dollar really didn't make a move. In fact, it moved lower, and the reason being is because we had a stronger US dollar. So typically, overnight, when you see the stock market move in the US, a lot of times you'll see that follow into the Asian markets. Didn't happen. So, oh well, I grabbed 10 pips. Now, my entry was right around this 68 level, okay? And this was the move that was, yesterday. We had that pretty big pop, and then we had the move down yesterday. And what I did was I just took a trade. It was about 68.74. I got out about 68.88. So give or take 10, 12 pips, 13, whatever the heck it was. It was really not much. It netted me like into that our account that we're tracking. I think it was like 100 and something. My account I'm keeping completely separate. As I said, completely different style and mode of trading when you're dealing with a much larger account than when you're dealing with a smaller account. And I explained that already. So, move lower over here, moved up, and then just kind of, consolidated. So today was really choppy. Wasn't a day that I was excited to trade foreign exchange currencies. So you know what? I did not. As a result, what I did was I traded the emini. And if you didn't hear my commentary a couple of days ago on the S&P, emini, and crude oil futures, then go back and watch it, and you will see what happened. Okay, so I hope that these screen projections on the chart did help you to kind of give a different technical perspective rather than me just describing it. This way you can visualize and understand better. Needless to say, we had the carryover, and I mentioned that in the trading room about what my thoughts were, why we were going to move lower. We had that carryover. Not only that, we closed on the lows. Now, getting back to what I was saying about this account, now my account is traded differently. I'm only referring to the account which is called the Spring Challenge account. And the reason that that's significant, and this is not something that is going to be signaled out, okay? I can just tell you what I am doing. It's a very high risky situation where you're taking a small amount of money and you are utilizing that with high leverage to go ahead and target a pretty big profit. So you're going to definitely have fluctuations, okay? Even if you take your best thoughts on a trade and your best strategies that you have, you're still going to have fluctuations given the fact that you have high leverage on one account. So definitely this is something that you never want to get involved with unless you are clear on your strategy and you have a productive track record that warrants that you can take these risks. And even then, it's still a risky endeavor, and I'll tell you why. when you're dealing with a small amount of money, it plays on you mentally, because you know that, oh, I only have right now enough funds to do one contract. Now, if you're dealing with CFDs and you don't have a US account, that's different. You can kind of slice it up and just trade a portion of that future. But if you're dealing with a US account, for example, Interactive Brokers, you need a little bit less than $5,000 to trade one contract. So it plays on you mentally to really tell yourself that you have to conserve capital. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's a good thing, because conserving capital is a good thing. But at the same time, you may not let a position ride the way that you want that position to ride. So keep that in mind. With a smaller account and higher leverage, you also have that equation where you're going to get more emotional. And that's what makes it all that more exciting, because the percentages, of winning are going to decrease on average for the most part than if someone's sitting there trading one contract with $100,000, $200,000. They don't have the same type of, emotional stress, if you will, than someone who has a small account. So that's why most of the times when you have a small account and you're trading high leverage, you end up losing. So keep that in mind. As far as the recap is concerned for this week, I hope it helped to shed some light on not only trading the foreign exchange currency, which always doesn't work, okay, as far as where you want it to go. I mean, the market's going to do what the market wants to do, and you could see last night it was pretty stagnant, but then today we made up for it on the ES. So I hope this helped. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to making the video on Monday. And please like and subscribe so that it warrants me and it excites me so that I can go ahead and make some more videos. Take care, everybody.